Okay.
Licopoli.
Licopoli.
Right.
All right. I guess we should start with what are your visions for the 2013-2014 school year? Give you time to think about it. Your visions.
Which are, you know, it would be interesting if one of the things I asked Mr. Hutchinson is to have a student representative to, whether it be through the student council, to present like a monthly report to me and the Board of Education.
Okay.
And in the course of that, it might be a good idea that as a superintendent, I mean, I can meet with the student body or a representative group of the student body and present what the board has identified as a tentative vision statement for the Peekskill City School District, and what our and we've identified some goals moving forward in terms of the school year. And I think if we were to, if I were to summarize what we will, how we would look at a vision for this school year, and a vision is like, a vision usually goes out.
You're right. It's
A
broad.
vision is not something you can do in a year. You know, it's like a ongoing, work in progress that takes a lot of years to get to. And you kind of never really meet it. But really, the thing that we work together, and I can send you a copy of that, is that we want to, we're envisioning Peekskill to be a vital community, school community, in which our kids are thoughtful, which our students are thoughtful, in which they're critical thinkers and individualists at the same time, problem solvers that are able to contribute to the community at large, that Peekskill as a community is a community that people come to, in which diversity is embraced, and a place for us to learn from each other. So those would be some of the components of this vision that we have for the school system. And our goals would be, well, we developed what you call an aspirational goal. An aspirational goal is that we're saying that by the year 2019, 100% of our kids are going to be at the appropriate levels of literacy by the end of grade 3. Now, you guys are familiar with all the testing stuff
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah,
I know all that controversy.
we took tests in, I think, 4th grade and 8th grade.
Yeah, you start the state test.
Yes.
Okay. And then there's a whole thing about graduation rates. Well, part of that goal is that by the year 2019, we're saying that our target is that 100% of our students will graduate on time. So those are big goals.
Big goals.
Okay? And we didn't say that's going to happen in 13, 14.
Right.
We're saying it's going to happen
over time.
Over time, because realistically, it takes time to build something.
Considered a
What
long-term
challenges do you see in these? I know you mentioned like it's going to take time. Well, what are things that might come up, or what do you think is going to be like the hardest hurdle to get over?
Well, I think, like in any system, is that we have to identify, the best educational practices, the most appropriate curriculum, how we approach literacy and reading at the elementary level. How do we plan for students who are, have you ever heard that achievement gap? Let's say if you're in 10th grade and your skill levels are in 8th grade, how do we reduce that?
That makes sense.
And I think we have to do that quickly. So we have to put plans in place that enable our students to improve on particularly in their literacy, and yet at the same time not fall behind. And finding the ways of getting that enable students to take responsibility for their learning, to be engaged in the learning process. The best teacher is yourself.
It's a good call.
And it's always good to have someone help guide you,
Yeah.
which I'm sure, we have many teachers who do that. But how you learn from your mistakes is the best way, in many respects, is the best way to learn. So, yeah, that's part of it.
Given the current economic environment, what are your concerns about the budget?
Well, we're, again, I'm going to go back to this. If you really, in fact, I'm going to put the invitation out there.
Okay.
I mean, I really think it would be a good idea for me to do a presentation to a representative group of students, whether that be the student council, whatever the vehicle is.
Okay.
We have some serious issues that we have to deal with in our budget, and we've used a good portion of our savings to help pay for this year's expenses to run our schools. And like in any home, if you take a big portion of your savings to pay for your expenses, and you don't have enough money coming in to balance it off the following year, that means you won't have anything to take from the next year,
You
right?
don't have anything to sustain you.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So what we're facing next year is that very thing. We need to, we're going to start with our budget presentations actually next week.
Okay.
And we've never done that before. We're going to start very early. We need to communicate to our public that in the most transparent way what it is that we're grappling with in terms of our costs and our expenses. My goal is to try and ensure that we can have an educational plan budget that minimally protects everything that we have now, and at best, I would like to add, a couple of positions here and there, so that we can get balanced off in terms of meeting those goals that we just talked about. But we really have to work as a community to preserve our school system.
Preservation. In your opinion, how has Dr. Willis's leaving the district impacted the school district?
I think any time when somebody leaves before the contract is due, or their contract is up, regardless of what the business is,
Right.
It's unsettling. And but the goal for us now is to turn that page, to get kind of back on track, to really focus on our strengths, and to enhance our strengths so that that our students are getting the best possible education that they can receive. And that means engaging our staff, engaging our kids to be part of the solution, the long-term solution, for us in Peekskill, and get that strong sense of Peekskill pride. And yeah, I mean, it's great, and really, put our heads together on, I think our community needs to see the best from us.
I agree.
And there's a lot for us for our community to be respectful of and to admire from the work of our kids, our students. So part of my personal goal would be, that's what I want to do as the superintendent, is really enable our students to show their wares over the course of the year. And I got a couple of things in my head on how to do that.
What are your ideas for the future of the high school guidance department?
Well, good question. There's several.
Okay.
One is that we got to get our high school guidance department to be a full-fledged, guidance department in which, I'm using all these analogies that, in which all the cylinders are hitting, everything is running.
I have a question.
No, really, I want us to be a real state of the profession guidance department that fully addresses all of the issues that high school students face day to day, as well as post-high school planning,
Okay.
so that we get guidance, personal development, and planning all at the same time. And where physically the space is appealing to our students.
Yeah.
And it's appealing to our public. Now, I've taken the Board of Education on a tour of the guidance office, and I'm going to just be brutally honest with you.
Go for it.
And I was here 3 years ago, and I just think I forgot about it. But there's a lot to be desired there.
I'm in there a lot.
And it's just, we really physically need to make some real improvements so that you can have access to the resources that a guidance department has, and that's going to be a major goal of our new guidance team there now. And we're going to be really assessing the need for possibly having an additional counselor.
Yeah.
Because right now, if we have around 900 kids in high school with 300 kids a grade, that's a lot per
Definitely.
Counselor.
It is. You said you had a question?
No, did you want me to record the whole thing and then take pictures, or?
Just record the whole thing and then
Okay.
or I can take a couple pictures if
Okay.
okay. We can cut it. I was gonna ask you what ideas did you have for getting the schools and the students involved, but you definitely addressed that with your a student advisory almost, and you want to do your presentations to the students. When do you think?
I also want to set up this thing. It's like a superintendent. I haven't figured out a name for it. I called it different. I've been a superintendent for 21 years, and I've been in. Well, actually, I've only been 4 different school districts. I was here twice.
Okay.
So, and I had different variations of something like this. But really, what I'm trying to put together it's like a superintendent's laboratory or superintendent's symposium where I work with, it's almost like a club. I work with an advisor from the high school in which students could come in and out, but we develop, let's say, 8 topics.
Okay.
And we have a group of 8 students in which half would take one position of a topic, and then the other half would take another position of the same topic.
Okay.
And then we come together and we discuss it, not so much like a debate, but we have a discussion in which which I'll be a participant in which some of the solutions to whatever the issue or the topic is can actually be generated by the group. A lot of times when you have a superintendent's advisory group, students come in, we talk, and usually it's like, here's what we think is wrong with the high school, and then what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
It's
one-sided almost.
And then I'm supposed to try to figure out a way to, and I'm more of the nature, well, let's put our heads together and make it a little bit more thoughtful, because really coming in with what you think are problems is very easy. Trying to really solve problems is a whole different thing. And in the course of those things, I can bring in guests to help with that. And it's the kind of thing that we were thinking about, taping. So it becomes part of our, we can put it on our TV station, and our community can see the level of, thinking and strategizing that our students bring to the table.
Thank you.
And that cuts across all kids,
All
nice.
students.
Yeah.
Okay. Throughout your times with the district, what are you most proud of?
I think, and again, I was here 2 years ago,
Yeah.
or 3 years ago, and I spent 8 months here. And when I was here for 8 months, it felt like I was here longer. Not because it was hard, not that it was something I didn't like, but I felt that I was, I felt very, like I was home. Okay? And when I retired the first time, and then I worked in Arlington by Poughkeepsie for another 2 years as a superintendent, helping them out. I was going to retire again. And I had a lot of opportunities to retire. I had a lot of opportunities not to retire, but when Peekskill called back and said, we'd like to have you come back, it was very hard for me not to to say yes.
That's good to know.
So I wanted to come, there's something very special about Peekskill that I feel I was here in another lifetime. What do you call that? Like that's
like an out-of-body
yeah.
experience, or
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense.
I felt like I must have had a relative here a long time ago or something like that. But I'm joined here. And it's a neat community. You know, we have a nice, there's a nice, there's the kind of cultural diversity that is enriching. You know, we have an arts community here right in the city. We've got great music. And it just really makes for a nice balanced you know, place that is more real world like than other communities that I've been in.
Do you have like a favorite aspect of the Peekskill community, or a part that sticks out to you?
Well, you know, I think, well, I'm kind of like a music person, so I like music, I like the art, I like the history, you know, I like the fact that the yellow brick road's here, you know, I like the fact that there's been a lot of, you know, famous people have been through here.
Mel Gibson.
One way or another. What's that?
Mel Gibson.
Abraham
No,
Lincoln.
someone told me that can't be true.
It is.
Well, someone mentioned that to me, and I went, Mel Gibson.
That's what I said. I'm like,
Who's Mel Gibson?
He's the
actor.
He's from Australia.
Yeah. Well, he moved to.
He went to school here?
I'm not sure. I think it just like he was born here and he was here a couple of years, then he moved to Australia.
You know, and I can't remember the conversation. Someone said that to me, and I went, "What?"
Yeah, I don't think he went to the high school.
Because you know there were a lot of people. You know, not only George Pataki and all
Yeah.
that stuff,
Yeah.
and Aaron Copland. This was like his home area, and he was a famous composer
Yeah.
who lived here.
There's lots of little neat things about her town.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great.
What do you think are the best attributes of a school leader?
Well, to me, a school, you know, part of being a school leader is having the ability to bring the best out, bring out the best in others. And this high degree of trust, high degree of confidence that you try and do the right thing, and that you believe in your students and you believe in your community and your staff, and you have an idea of where you want to go. You know.
Is there anything else I may have missed, or anything you'd like to add?
No, those questions were great.
Thank you.
You did a real thoughtful job in putting questions together. I thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
You did a great job. Great
Thank
job.
you.
Had to give you a thumbs up.
Oh.
So,
Did you stop it?
No.
are
This
you
is-
filming this? Or
Yes.
taping? Oh, I didn't know that.
Want to wave? Want to say hi to the camera?